All right, my friends, welcome to episode 257 of Prof and Dev Play Games. His name is Anthony, the dev, at SummerSpeak on Twitter, and my name is Larry, the professor, at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Just installed Twitter on my phone, so I'm actually using it, which is kind of probably a mistake.
It is a mistake, considering I've been sitting here this entire weekend being like, do I want to delete Twitter from my phone? Am I on it too much? Is this I watched a YouTube video that was like of a guy who just does different. It's just a random YouTube channel, and it just had a video on how I got myself to read more books.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, when I've thought about going to my phone, I stopped going to my phone and went to a book.
Right.
Was the main way, even if it was only like 10 minutes. And I'm like, well, and one of the things is like, one of the ways I stopped going to my phone is I took off my social media apps off my phone.
Right.
So I'm not, and it was this thought of those apps, like it or not, I set up my feed, I like my feed on Twitter, it is feeding me information. I'm not choosing to get that information.
Right.
And he's like, maybe I want to be more selective with the information I get. Maybe I don't want to just be bombarded with thing after thing after thing of random things. And it's like, I can go down, like me, hours after seeing something on Twitter being like, oh, I want to go dig into learning about this thing. It's like, but do I want to learn about that? Is there other things I might want to be learning about that I'm not doing? So I don't know. I'm having a conflict there of like, is this good for me? The answer, probably not.
I mean, I've had Twitter back on my phone for like 3 days, and I'm already like, I need to delete this. Like, I'm getting into like political discussions, and like I am just getting bombarded with stuff, and I'm like, okay, my mental health is not doing well with this. Like, I definitely want to be plugged in that I need to do something. Like, I'm doing letter writing campaigns, postcard campaigns, like being involved in the election that way. I don't need to read every single news item.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm probably going to delete it. But I'm on there for a couple of days at least.
I know. I've seen you. I was like, wow, you're replying and posting to things. This is new. Because it shows it on my feed since I follow you.
Don't get used to it.
I know. But I think you're both in the same agreement. I'm just like, I think social media is a mistake. I think it's a big mistake that we did not understand, and now
totally
it's there.
No, totally. And speaking of, I'm going to plug our YouTube channel. Prof and Dev Play Games just posted another Gaming with My Daughter video podcast, so check that out. Especially if you want to see my masked face, the new one.
Yeah, because it randomly showed up in my subscription. I was like, oh, you posted one. So
yeah, got a backlog of like 4 or 5 I'm editing right now. So
nice.
Thank you. And then, since we're at the front of this, please like and subscribe to this podcast if you like it. Tell your friends, and I'm going to give you a code for a game that is no way related to me asking you to like our podcast. This is a code on Steam for Wargroove. GABAAGIT42DDNQG. You better grab that before Anthony does.
I have Wargroove on the Switch. It's okay.
It's decidedly okay. The rounds are way too long.
Probably, yes.
It's like an hour, and you make one mistake, and you're fucked.
It's true.
So, yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the part where you're like, wow, I'm very nostalgic for Advanced War. You forget about the certain amount of pain that came from Advanced Wars. So,
and it reminds you of how good the new Fire Emblem is, where you have that rewind time mechanic, which you know, obviously people just did the save scumming anyway, so just make it easy.
Yeah.
So this week, Anthony and I are going to live in a fantasy world where we are going to predict the next Nintendo Direct, and my suspicion is that it's going to come before this investor call, which is, I think, on the 16th of September. So I think we're going to have a Direct this week or next week, a really big one. And I think it's going to be earlier so they can get out of the way of Sony and Xbox and whatever the fuck they're going to do this month, because they have to do something this month, I assume. So we're just going to predict the next Direct, and we're going to will it into being in some way. Do you have any predictions on when you think it's going to happen, or do you think it's going to happen at all?
I think you're right. They will do something before their investor meeting. I don't think they're caring or working around Sony and Microsoft. They'll do it on their own time frame. It's Nintendo. Mm-hmm. They don't seem to care about those other companies too much. So, yeah. I think I saw the investor call thing, and I'm like, okay, within 2 weeks, we know what's coming out in the fall. Like,
exactly.
they need to tell the investors
And
like
that's
what
where
they
I'm at,
have
too.
planned. I think that is right, and if they don't, I have no clue. Then I can only imagine. I mean, there is a world where they're
Yeah.
like, we're not talking about any of this stuff. The investor call is, hey, look at all the Switches we've sold and all the copies of Animal Crossing that we're still selling. And the rest of the investors don't
Right,
care.
that's true.
Don't care. They're like, wow, that's amazing. Good job.
I feel like the investors want to know like that revenue stream is going to continue, though, right?
Yeah.
Like something big.
Yeah.
Or at least just to get those questions out of the way. Like, we don't
Yes.
need to spend this investor call with you asking us what's coming out. Like, we already told
Yeah.
you, so let's focus on that shit,
Yeah.
So if we do get one in the next 2 weeks, a real Nintendo one, we just had the second indie world one, which was basically rhythm games, which
Yeah.
is fine and whatever. I mean, there's an audience for that.
Rhythm in game Kingdom Hearts. So that's a thing.
And it's a thing with another fucking story chapter.
I know, which is going to sell a shit ton because of that.
Yeah. Right,
Although
exactly.
it got
And
me,
might
I
even
was
sell
like,
Switches.
oh, I like Utada Hikaru's music in this. Maybe I get the rhythm game just to play those. There's like,
even though you haven't, have you played any Kingdom Hearts?
just the first one. I played the first one back on PS2.
Okay.
So
the story, like,
I mean, the story
even, like, caught up with the
roughly
story.
made sense
Then don't-
in the first one, and then I know it went off the rails. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't need to play anymore. I do like the music though. So, meh. Yeah, we had that, and then it was a lot of other rhythm games. What was it? Just Dance.
Yep, Just Dance 2021, which is the same as all the others. Just
Every
new
other.
songs.
Yep, pretty much. Is
So
that one coming to the
there's a
Wii
rhythm
as
game.
well? Is
Fuck, I hope-
2021
I hope
actually still coming to the Wii?
I doubt it, but I hope so. We'll have to find that out. And then there's the I don't know how to say it, but like the drum game, basically. And they like turn the drum into an RPG.
Yeah, and it's original when it was brought to English West a long time ago. It was always called Taiko Drum Master. Which I think is what it translates to roughly. So, I can't believe it's an RPG. Taiko Drum Master is hilarious. I played it in Japanese arcades in Tokyo. 20 years ago at this point.
With a drum.
Yeah, it had a a big arcade machine that has a taiko drum, and you're like, it has sticks, just beating on the taiko drum. It's hilarious, and I think they actually sell an adapter for the Switch. You can get it directly through. Is it Namco Bandai that makes the game? Maybe. Whatever the publisher is and whoever makes the game, they actually sell a peripheral, a taiko drum peripheral, which you can order for them.
Right, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And someone's probably beaten Dark Souls with it. So,
yes,
by the way, breaking
I'm sure.
news: not Wii U, Just Dance 2021. It's Xbox One, PS4, 5, and Switch. That's it.
Okay, they've finally cut out
PC as well.
The Wii. There we go. No more Just Dance on old multi-generational systems.
Just not worth it for them at this point.
So yeah, but yeah, that was a small one. I don't think anyone was like too. It was not. It was the mini direct. That's right. It was a mini direct, and it was just like, hey, get these third-party publishers out of the way. And I saw one headline that was like the unwanted mini direct. Because no one gave it. They're just like, and it was basically the same thing we're talking about, which is where's the actual Nintendo Direct? Come on. We've had indies, the Indie World Direct, and now we've had this mini Direct. Okay, Nintendo, what the hell are you doing this fall? From you, first party, go. And yeah, we have rumors. We've had rumors for a while.
It's a drought of news.
Yeah, which honestly doesn't surprise me. Maybe are having a hard time pinning stuff down because of COVID and the upheaval in general through all these studios and companies and countries and everything, that it's making it hard for them to determine what will actually be ready at a specific time.
Right, and I feel like if that's the case and it's really drug this out, then just leave off the dates. Just say it's coming in the future or whatever. But people will be pissed about that. So
yeah, they got to give dates. And investors want
good
dates.
Idea.
So
right.
So yeah, I don't know at this point when officially this will be, but hopefully in 2 weeks we will know. Maybe it'll be a birthday present for you.
That would be fantastic. Yes, I would thoroughly enjoy that, considering it would be the right day of the week.
It would be the right day, wouldn't it?
Yes. But I think it'll be this coming week. But we'll see. Why don't we predict it? what the hell
Yeah.
is going to be in this direct.
I'm still with the rumors, staying with rumors that there is going to be Mario remasters showing up.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's a lock for sure.
it,
But
it just
which
feels
ones do you
right.
think?
Mario 64 for sure.
Hmm.
A Galaxy for sure. Probably the first Galaxy, honestly.
Hmm.
Then there's the and Sunshine probably. Those would be my like main three. Like bring those old classic ones back, and then God, what was the Wii U one? 3D World.
3D World. Yep.
Potentially, that's probably an easier port. Um, I I don't know if they may cut back. I mean, maybe that's one of the things is they're not going to be able to do all of these at the get out of the gate. So my prediction would be those three classics: 64, that generational thing of 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. The
Yeah.
N64 to the Wii. Get the main games out there again.
Yeah, the rumor was that it would be all three in one pack for 60, which
Yeah.
does not sound like Nintendo. It sounds like
No.
Nintendo would be each one $60. I of those three, I've only played 64. I haven't played Sunshine, and I never played Galaxy.
I never played Sunshine. I did play Galaxy. Galaxy is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think that's a lock for sure. I think that I don't know how you would say. I don't know how they would say we're remastering those three. We're remastering Galaxy and not talk about Galaxy 2. That just seems like the natural question. Like if you're doing one, then you're definitely going to do two at some point. So why not just say it like we're doing two in the future or whatever?
Yeah.
And then 3D World is just such a great game. That's like one of the biggest ones that's just still like languishing on the Wii U that needs to come forward.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely they just have an old backlog of games I think that would just do really well now with the Switch, and people would just eat them up.
Well, it's like on the Wii U, what's left is 3D World, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Yoshi's. I don't think they would put Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah.
Or Kirby's Canvas Curse. I don't think that would come either.
No.
I think maybe just 3D World and I think Xenoblade would probably come over eventually too.
Yeah, potentially. What's the Xenoblade one that I had now?
The one that you have the remake of the one from the Wii.
Yeah, that's the Wii one, not the Wii U one.
Yeah, that's just Chronicles.
Yeah, I know. Then there's Xenoblade Chronicles X, and then there's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Different,
right.
All different. Yeah. Thanks, Japan. Really love the names and what the order of these are.
But X is the Wii U one. I think
Yeah.
you played that a little bit when you had my Wii U.
I did a little bit. I did not get that far into it.
Yeah, I had the same.
I was like, what is this? I think we are lock for Metroid Prime trilogy.
Oh, you think so? Oh,
I think so. I think so. I think
God,
for
I
the
hope
fact
you're
that it's like that 4 isn't going to be out for years at this point.
Yeah.
Or at least it seems based on Retro's hiring that it's going to be a while before we get Metroid Prime 4, and that's been at this point I feel like it's been scrapped and started again.
Yeah. Well, they had that news where they were looking for a lead, lead, not the lead. So I don't know. I always thought that they would want to tie the MPT with the 4 coming out, just to like wet your whistle. But you're right. I don't think they're going to hold it.
I think they would
3 more years.
Yeah, maybe just if it's ready to go, just put it out. I mean, I think it would be just again as a nice way to remind people that Metroid exists. Maybe that gets shown here, and maybe it's not a fall game. Maybe if they hold it until next year. Maybe this fall was really just focusing first party as Mario games coming out.
I think they can still say something like Metroid Prime Trilogy is like a January game or something, which would be perfect spot for it. I think
it would. All those people getting not Wii Switches for Christmas.
Hope they're not getting Wii's. Oh,
yeah.
They're like, where's my Just Dance 2021? God damn it.
Damn it.
Console, Mom.
Trying to think of other things that will be in a Switch that I'm pretty sure there will be Animal Crossing updates featured in there heavily.
Oh, yeah.
They do it now, and they show like there's going to be one for. They will at least show what their like Halloween event is going to be, if not what their holiday total event's going to be, just to let people know, like, hey, here's the next couple updates. They're coming to Animal Crossing. They have to at this point. It sold 20 million copies or some ridiculous number.
Right.
And I think it's huge. Like they can't not talk about it every time there's a first party direct. Like,
right.
And it's the type of game that just feeds on that. It's a lifestyle. It's a hobby game. I know there's 2 people women in my D&D group who are like, they got a Switch just for Animal Crossing, and they've been playing Animal Crossing since it launched every day. And they just chat.
System seller for them.
They just chat back and forth over our Discord about their turnip prices, what they're getting, and like they're still super active in like what they're collecting and what they found. Like I've bounced off of it and gone away, which I expected would happen after some time. I'm not one to just sit and do the collecting game and do the treadmill, but it got their hooks in these people deep, and they are just itching for whatever the next update is going to be. So,
well, and it's a game that I knew just based on New Leaf that I would not be that into, and I still bought it, but I keep coming back to it, and it's got something even that's interesting to me, and I was like kind of surprised by that. I bought it only because on our friend from Peace Corps talks about Animal Crossing all the time, and my wife kept asking me about it. I was like, well, let's try it, see what you would think about it, but I haven't got to the point where I've turned it over to her yet, past like the tutorial part yet. So I should just give it to her and see what she thinks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. It gets into people's brains and just sticks there for a while. There's some people at work that are still consistently playing it, so.
I just always feel bad when I log in after like 2 weeks and they're like, we haven't seen you for a while. I was like, fuck you.
They haven't, but a lot of times they're not mean about it. They're just like, hey, glad you're not dead.
Yeah, me too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay.
This year
I
sucks.
appreciate you caring.
Yes, thank you. Wakanda forever, by the way.
Yeah, Wakanda forever. Holy shit.
That was a shot out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. And then Ryan Coogler, this is about Black Panther, everyone, wrote an article today that came out. And it was basically like, he didn't even know that Chadwick Boseman had cancer. He never once, only his family knew, and I assume maybe some Marvel execs knew, at least at some point, because he wasn't, they were talking about how he wasn't on like the Infinity War and Endgame press tour as much as other actors. And maybe I assume he had to tell someone.
Right, there'd be a reason why.
A reason like, I can't do the press tour. I have treatments, I have surgeries, things like that.
Right.
But the fact that Ryan Coogler, basically the entire time Ryan Coogler's met him and known him and directed him in Black Panther, he was fighting cancer and didn't even know. Ryan Coogler didn't know. And he's like said that he's written the script for Black Panther 2. And he's like, in that article was just like, I wrote these lines for Chadwick Boseman to say, and he's never going to be able to say them.
Damn, dude.
Like, he was in my mind as I was writing this. And it talks about, like, they were texting each other and all through the pandemic times of, like, checking in on each other and, like, sending recipes and talking about their families and stuff. And he's like, I never knew. He did not let it show to anyone but his family.
Right.
So that's why when it broke, was that Saturday night?
Mm-hmm.
Or
no,
Friday night, where everyone was like, is this real? What the hell? Like, even I came around, I was like, that can't be right. How can, like, this never been told to anyone? Like, you don't just have, it's so rare to have someone in such a spotlight be like, no, they died of cancer. They've been fighting cancer for 4 years. You didn't know. It was like, holy shit.
It literally took my breath away.
Yeah.
And I'm not usually like that with celebrity deaths or whatever, but like, because we didn't know, it was just so shot. And how much that movie meant to people.
A lot of people.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
What a loss. So this year is the fucking worst. And it's bound to get worse, unfortunately.
No, don't.
Dude, the fucking president of the United States is inciting violence against fucking peaceful protesters. Dude, this year, that's fucking news, These fucking headlines that are like, protesters on both sides. Like, no, the president of the United States is directing his supporters to fucking kill his political opponents. That is what is happening in this fucking country right now. And this is a gaming podcast.
Yes.
So I think in the Direct, we're going to get an announcement of a 3DS port.
Oh.
And I would like it to be something I haven't played, and something there's one 3DS game that I haven't played because the way to play it on the 3DS fucking sucks. When it first came out, you had to get like an attachment to have like a camera stick, basically the right thumbstick. And then now with like the new 3DS, that little nub still wouldn't be good.
Yep.
But Kid Icarus Uprising, I think would be an awesome one to bring, because then you could actually fucking play it. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they brought out Samus Returns at some point. I don't think that's in this direct, but that's also a good one. I think we're going to see some 3DS port. I don't know specifically what it'll be, but those are two things that make sense to me.
I could see that.
What about Bayo 3? Think we'll hear about Bayonetta at all?
I don't know. Does Capcom feel like it's ready? I don't know.
Is that a Capcom game? I thought that was a Platinum game.
Platinum. I thought it is Platinum. Platinum's the developer. I thought Capcom was the publisher. I could be wrong though.
Oh, maybe. I just know with Platinum.
I could be wrong though. No, publishers were Sega and Nintendo.
Oh yeah, Sega.
That's right. But Platinum is not the publisher. They're not self-publishing. So
okay, got it.
Sega for a long time.
Yep, Sega's the one. You're right.
Oh, oh right, that's why. Because it's the game was directed by Hideki Kamiya, who was the created Devil May Cry for Capcom. Right. That's why I get it. Because they've been associated with Capcom so much. Yeah. So there we go. All right, that is possible. We haven't heard about anything from it for. It's
been like 2 years since the Game Awards where they talked about it. Reggie was involved in releasing or announcing that or whatever. He's been gone for a while. I think two things. One, I don't think we're going to hear anything about Breath of the Wild 2, and I don't think it's close. But I think if there is, this is the time to shit or get out the pot with Retro's fucking. I know they're working on Metro Prime 4, but there was supposedly some game they had finished that's Star Fox Racer or something like that. So if they actually do have another game, this is the time to announce it, or I don't think they actually have one.
Yeah, I would agree. Actually, I'm back thinking of Bayonetta. I doubt. Unless Bayonetta is coming out this fall, it's not being shown. It's not being shown. I don't think they're going to show pretty much anything that isn't coming out within the next 3 to 4 months. Mm-hmm. Maybe 5, maybe into February of next year. Stretching it. But even then, maybe not. Maybe they're only going to show what's coming out October, November, December. And then we'll have a direct in January showing other things. So Bayonetta, I feel, is out. That won't be in there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the retro game, maybe. Again, if it's ready to come out. I don't know.
I just don't think at this point it's got to be ready or it doesn't exist because they're on to Metroid. I don't think they have. I don't think they have several studios. I think they all got all hands on deck for Metroid. So
yeah. Another third party that I could see in here is Bravely Default 2.
Oh yeah,
because it's supposed to. It originally was planned to come out this fall. Right. It still doesn't have a date. But the original announcement had it for winter of 2020. Mm-hmm. So, again, if it's actually coming out, I'd expect it to be in here. We've had the demo, the whole thing. It's actually weird that they've had the demo for so long. Usually they didn't, even the original Bravely Default and everything. The demo was not out for months before the game came out. It was 2 months tops. Mm-hmm. So.
Did you play the demo of 2?
Yeah, it was hard as fuck.
Yeah, I heard some mixed reactions.
The demo was set up to be pretty hard.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think the game is going to be that hard. But the demo itself is it's a challenge, and you're going to be. But it's Bravely Default, and I really enjoyed Bravely Default, so I'm all for it. The most true successor to the old school Final Fantasies, I will say. Right.
Yeah, hopefully. I guess I wasn't thinking specifically about third parties.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of third parties, but I could see a couple like that coming in.
Yeah. I'm thinking dormant things that haven't been out for a while. Donkey Kong Country, that last game was 2013. Although they just put the re-release on Switch. Obviously F-Zero. Pikmin is coming out in October, but
they probably would do something with Pikmin. You would at least see it. You'd probably get another Smash character reveal.
Oh, God, I forgot. Yeah, you're totally right. I think we will get a Smash character.
It's just a reveal of who they are, and then there'll be a direct, like they normally do later, just on that new character.
Right. Ooh, now I want to think about who that's going to be. Let's see. Who is the first one for this new round? Arms. It was Arms. Yeah. Arms, yeah. I could see them doing another Mario character or some fucking weird one.
Yeah.
Not sure who that would be, though. They're always, off the wall Japanese, what's that fucking NES game that didn't come out in the US? Someone's castle. It's some
I know what you're talking about.
Sword character who's the main character of that. I could see that being one of these. Something that's totally obscure to Western audiences, but that would totally
Yeah.
hit some nostalgia bone for Japan.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I want to see Paper Mario just
Yeah.
because I'm playing a ton of Paper Mario right now, but that's like another Mario character, but there's like 3 Link characters, so whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. Just bring it on. Why
Yeah.
can't there be all the different Marios?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. No Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever the hell that's going to be.
Hmm. Oh, what about a Skyward Sword or Wind Waker coming to Switch or Twilight Princess coming to Switch, any of that kind of stuff? Or are we saving that for next year when that's the Zelda year?
I think they'd probably wait for next year.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard any rumors on that stuff coming to Switch right now.
We only saw one, and that was just a SKU release on Amazon that was taken down quickly, which was Skyward Sword Switch. I don't know what that means.
I'm not excited by that, but whatever. I did not like Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Like if Zelda games had been continued to be like Skyward Sword, I would not be playing Zelda games anymore.
Wow.
Like I really did not like Skyward Sword. It did.
Yeah.
It is like the culmination of their like, okay, we're doing Ocarina and then Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess, that Wind Waker and that whole progression there. But Skyward Sword just, we're talking about games respecting your time. That game did not respect your time.
Right.
God damn it. It was everything was so long to do anything. And then the next Zelda game, I think that came after that was A Link Between Worlds, where they fully experiment. They're like, let's throw that out. Like this very rigid progression and how you get items. And clearly Skyward's Link Between Worlds was also a test bed for stuff for like the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. I love Link Between Worlds, man. That game was great.
And it was, I'm glad that they did that. And we're like, you know what? Our playbook on Zelda is getting stale. We need to revamp this because that's I think the biggest thing. Skyward Sword just felt very stale to me. It's like, yep, it's a Zelda. This is your standard 3D Zelda game. Nothing is that new in it or exciting. And I think they learned that because I don't think it actually did all that well. And then it had stupid Wii motion controls to swing the goddamn sword. God damn it. I hate that game. Okay, I'm talking about it more and just getting more angry at that one and how disappointed I was with that game.
Let's not talk about that one. Oh, man. Yeah, let's not talk about that one anymore. I feel like we just ran out a pretty full Nintendo Direct. That's probably going to not happen, and we're going to be very disappointed. But as long as as long as they have those 3 Marios, like whatever else, I don't care. That's good enough.
Yeah, I think that would be just fine for this fall, going into a very crazy fall right now. So,
well, once Cyberpunk comes out, like whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm fully on board the Cyberpunk train. Like I'm ready
for CD Projekt to ready to get back into their storytelling.
I am. Yep, I've decided to go with them over. I'm paling on Ubisoft right now, so I'm happy to go with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think we got that.
Yeah, what have you been playing this week?
Not a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, fuck, me too.
I think a lot like you, I just haven't had a ton of time to play, and whenever I've been finally done with things, I've either been exhausted, and I just want to go lay in bed and read a book, which I do.
Yep.
Or I've been, as my daughter would say, I have the creative blood in me, and I have designs that I'm working on for work that I just had like inspiration for, and so I've been tinkering. In Unreal at night, just like, oh, does this work? Does that work? Can I make this prototype actually do what I want it to do to show off some design ideas? So I think I've got that. I've like progressed through a lot of that. So now it's just being home with my daughter and stuff. It just, by the time night came around, I was just like, I'm tired. Not in a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way. But definitely I just need to like chill and do something that's not super intense like Ghost of Tsushima because that was a little much thinking about just having to be so on and ready for that combat. I'm just not there mentally. So
yeah, I got back to it last night, and I'm streaming every minute of my playthrough. So based on my YouTube, I saw that I hadn't played since the 21st, and that's right. That was the Friday before school started, and I've been just doing schoolwork every fucking night. And I was just like, if I'm not doing schoolwork, I'm dead tired and I just go to sleep. So this week I played 3 things. I play Origami King with my daughter, and when I'm with her in the morning, like we alternate getting up with her, and then she wants to watch Origami King, so we play for an hour every other morning. And if you listened to last week, it happened. We got to Bobby the Bomb fucking committing suicide in the next playthrough that we did. Um, Mario's companion is stuck under a boulder, and the only way to get her out is to blow up the boulder. So we go on this mission with Bobby the Bomb to get his fuse, which he lost his fuse, so he has a fuse. This is fucking spoilers for Origami King, by the way, but I don't think you're playing it.
Nope.
But just for the audience, this is a spoiler for like probably the best storyline in the game and like a really, really effective, great storyline. But Bobby the Bomb has another bomb friend who died, who left his fuse to Bobby the Bomb, and he's been carrying this fuse with him for years. Just remember his friend. So we go on this trip back to where Bobby the Bomb was to get this fuse to light Bobby the Bomb on fire and blow him up. And my daughter does not have this language or this tone, but she very much, her reaction was, what the fuck just happened? She was just stunned. And then the main character realizes, or Olivia, the side character realizes what Bobby the Bomb did to save her, and she just goes catatonic and just sits in a room by herself and is like, I'm sad, leave me alone, I can't talk to anyone. And that's what my daughter did for the whole day. She was just like reenacting how to process death. And it was good. But she was just like devastated. And we have a Lego set with this is fucking hilarious. There was a Bomb, so she's been calling it Bobby the Bomb because she's attached to Bobby the Bomb, and she takes it up to bed with her every night and sits next to her bed. After that happened, she walked up to Bobby the Bomb, took the flame Lego piece off of it, threw it, and said, "Now Bobby the Bomb can't blow up because there's no fire on him." Like, okay, great. So we've continued to play Origami King. We were 15 hours into the game. We're almost at the end of the third of 5 streamers. This third world is basically like the desert world, and there's just a fucking ton of backtracking. So I've done quite a bit without her just to like get to the next part, so she doesn't have to see a lot of backtracking and battling or whatever. But she is we're at the hole punch boss now, and she's like so pumped. Tonight her mom was showing her how a hole punch actually works, and we were play acting hole punching, and she's just like so into this game. It is so fucking great. It is really, except for this the pace bog down with this third world, like it was running with Ghost as my game of the year, but I think Ghost is probably gonna get it. And then I played Ghost last night, played for 2 hours. I'm still just doing Act 2. I'm finishing all the tales. I finished, is it Ishikawa? The archer?
Yeah, Ishikawa.
Yeah, him and Norio finished theirs, at least in the Act 2 part. And then I'm doing the drunk sake.
Kenji?
Yeah, Kenji. And then just a bunch of random tales. I'm just trying to clean everything up before I go to that final story mission in 2. So I thought I would be there today, or by today, but this week I only played for 2 hours total.
Yeah.
I hope to get more time this week. And then the last thing I played half an hour of Battletoads.
Nice.
Which is like the art style, like the whatever tone they're going for, they've nailed it. It's funny, the cartoon graphics, whatever. The gameplay it's a beat 'em up with like really cool transformations, but I find that the enemies are pretty sparse. There's like 3 or 4 in a big screen, and that's kind of it, which was basically what Battletoads was like anyways. So it's hewing to that pretty well. I think it's pretty entertaining. It's just dumb fun. And then the other thing I keep forgetting about, which probably tells you something, 2.5-3 weeks ago, whatever, I played the Marvel Avengers beta.
Right.
And I thought that the story was much better than I thought it would be. The voice acting is great, obviously, except for like during fights is kind of weird. But I think the story is really interesting from what I saw the demo. But the gameplay is so slow and like not super. It feels muddy. Like it just doesn't feel super responsive. I feel like there's some sort of delay between when I'm pressing and what's happening on the screen. Like it just doesn't seem super fluid to me. So that's.
Did it feel that way for every character?
It felt that way for every character, and okay. I've seen that feedback from a lot of people.
Okay.
So I feel like I wasn't imagining that, and it's something that makes me think I don't think I was day one on this game anyways. I think the story will be interesting, but I can wait until or not play it at all. I don't know. So
looking at it, it's trying to be a superhero version of the looter shooter. Yeah. Type thing. Like it is very much in the style of Destiny in its loot and online connectedness. I do like the aspect of where I saw that you can go out like I'm going to play as Miss Marvel but I'm going to have Hulk with me. And either you can have a friend playing, have their heroes there fill in the spot, or you can take any other hero with you and they will use your version of that character, what you've unlocked on them, what you've geared them with. So you can just choose your companion if you want to play it solo, which is a cool idea.
Yeah, I do like that where you can play solo. And there is enough of the story that would compel me to play that game solo, but I don't need to jump in now. Ghost of Tsushima is going to take me 3 hours to get through, so.
Yeah.
Or not 3 hours, three months to get through. So I don't really need another big game. I have to get back to Disco after I finish Ghost of Tsushima. So plenty to play.
Oh yeah. I did play a little some more of that Path of Diablo thing.
Oh, nice.
It's good. It's Diablo 2, but better.
That sounds great.
It does. It's great, and you're just like, wow, this is a really good game. It's always been a good game, and this is just really good. I'm like in Nightmare right now, like farther than I've gotten a long time in any character. I'm just cruising along, having fun. But I didn't play a ton of that. It's only like a couple more hours.
Yeah.
Because I haven't played much of anything. So.
Right.
Such is the life of when you make games sometimes, and you're like, nope, not playing games right now, working on making them. So.
No, it makes sense for sure. And just like the time for our jobs, and then we're also parents. Sometimes there are weeks where we just don't play.
It's true, or very little. Like I try to make a little time here and there, but there are definitely times when I'm just like, nope, I'm tired. I'm really tired.
If I take out the hours that I play with my daughter, which is our together time in the morning, I played 2 hours and 20 minutes of video games this entire last 10 days.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. That happens.
So, yeah, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that.
I mean, I guess if I took out the time I played the game that I'm actively working on, it'd be a lot smaller.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else for the good of the podcast?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks for listening, folks. Had a very good download month. We really, really, really appreciate that. Please tell your friends and check out that podcast. Nope, not podcast. Game code for Wargroove at the front of the podcast in case you're that weird person who skips to the end before you listen to the beginning. Episode 247 of Prof and Dev Play Games. We will see you next week when we will be breaking down the assuredly coming Nintendo Direct.
There's not going to... Nothing. Just don't even say it. Nothing's happening. You're just going to jinx it.
Yeah, I know. I just did.
Yep.
All right, folks. See you next week.
Later, everyone.